Have you ever wanted to start a business? Do you know that it's a great way to build wealth is to start a business? And you also get to help people? Check out this book, The $1 Million Weekend by Noah Kagan. He is an entrepreneur who's made millions and millions of dollars, and he wrote this book to help you get started in one weekend, 48 hours. You literally can get started and start your business. So I'm going to go through how to actually do that. He gets over some of the mindset blocks that hold us back and the things that might be holding you back. And he shares get started, because that is how rich and successful people, they become rich and successful, is they take action and then they get better along the way. So let's get into it. If you want more videos on mastering your money, your mindset, success, and building a life that you love, feel free to click subscribe. That's what we do here. And let's get into the video. All right, I want to start here. If you believe your product or service can fulfill a true need, it's your moral obligation to sell it. Zig Ziglar. So, do you have something that you think the world needs? You have to figure out how you can package it and sell it and provide it. We need you. Okay, so we're first going to start with the idea. What are you going to make a business on? If you do not have an idea, if you don't have a product, a service, value, a solution, something that gives a need, a desire, something that fulfills this. If you don't have something here, you don't have anything. So you first need to come up with an idea. Now there's so many different types of businesses. There's things like with cooking, there's brownies that are sold, like something super simple like that. There's consulting services that are sold. There's actual products like Sarah Blakely with Spanx, okay? Clothes, entertainment, so many different things. What is your idea? It's anything that's typically a product or a service, some item, or it's some solution like maybe closet organizing, okay, consulting, whatever, some lawn care, some service that you offer or provide. We have to figure out our idea first. That is where everything lies. The best thing comes from an idea. The potential comes from your idea. Okay, great. I need an idea. I get ideas all the time. Maybe you don't. ChatGPT, but I would invite you to really look at your own life. So you want to think about problems. Okay? Entrepreneurs, this is how they think. They think of the world of like problems. They think of the solutions. They think of how can they make things better, right? Is there a gap? Is there something missing? Okay. Is something not as good or effective? Okay, this is where the ideas are born. The biggest thing is you want to think of how can I provide value? How can I solve a problem? How can I make someone's life better? Okay, 1, 2, 3. You want to be thinking of this. And so you want to look at it in your own life. What problems do you have? Right? Like Amazon solved a problem. Many problems, but you can online shop quickly. You don't even have to leave your house. You can stay home. So if you're a busy person, you don't need to go. Or if you don't want to go out, you can stay there. Amazon solved that, right? A problem. There's acne, okay? There's different creams and cleansers and products there. But then acne, people would pick at their acne, and that's not good. I know I used to do that. And so they decided to come up with those stickers. If you've ever seen the stickers, they have the pimple patches, okay, that work. They can blend in with your skin. They've also made like stars and hearts that are more fun for like geared for teenagers or people of that nature. And so it's solving a problem, right? Or if problems, rich people don't have a lot of time, so they offer solutions based on convenience. They make it easy, right? We're like, hey, I don't want to mow the lawn. Or hey, I don't want to meal prep. right? Like here's a personal chef, right? Or I want the best of the best, so I'm going to pay like $10,000, where someone who doesn't have as much money, you could only charge like $200 to, and that would be a lot. And so you always want to think about problem. What is a problem, and how can I make things better, fulfill a gap, and provide something of value to the world? So it starts with an idea, but customers want solutions, okay? They don't want you to say, ooh, like this idea would be great and I could get this package faster. Okay, well, how? Can you actually do it? And think about what they would want. Do they want it fast? Like, do you want to solve your problem quickly? Do you want to feel better quickly? Do you want to be healthier quickly? Like thinking of those things can be helpful, but you want to really get to know who are you selling to? Okay, this is often called like a target avatar. Like, who is that person? Who is going to buy the next video game that is really popular, like Minecraft? Or who's going to buy the video game that is like a sports one, right? Or Fortnite. Who's going to buy that? Who's the target market, right? Usually like teenage boys, maybe some girls and stuff, but that is their main target market. And so they get to know that person. They know the avatar. They know the who. And then you want to think about the what. What is that problem? What am I trying to solve for that person? Am I trying to educate like preschoolers and help give them fundamental math skills? And so can I create some type of app or learning program that parents will want, and they will spend the money on for their kids because they want their kids to be prepared? And so that would be the who would be for parents, because we're selling to the parents, but it's for the preschoolers. And then where are they? Where can we find them, right? So we want to think about these questions so that we have solutions and not just the idea. Always remember to think customer first. It helps if you're the customer, like Sarah Blakely, I'll talk about her a lot, but she didn't know what to wear under white pants. And so she made her own solution. And she's like, I have to get this for other women because there's other millions of women that would need this. So I have to make it. But we want to think of the customer first. Or she started thinking, well, guys haven't been making bras. Like, guys have been making bras and they don't wear them. And if they are wearing them, they're not saying anything, right? Is what she would say. And so they don't know that they're uncomfortable and that they don't feel good, right? And so she realized that she needed to really put the customer first and think about how they feel. So always, always, always put the customer first. It does help if you're the customer, but something to think about. Okay, so we're thinking of our customer. But if you don't know where to find them, where can I find them? Where are you? Okay, you want to think first about your zone of influence. Okay, so simply your zone of influence is who do you know? Okay, so you can think of your friends, family, co-workers, anybody that is kind of in your zone of influence. Who do you know? Because you're closer to them. The biggest zone of influence, I would argue, is you. Okay, so you first. What are your problems? Like, what are your struggles? What do you wish was out there, right? And if you can really get to know that person, it's customer first, customer centric, and finding the problem within you or within people close to you, you're going to find something that could reach a mass market. If you really get to know yourself first and those struggles, there's millions of people, billions, of people in the world. You think that there aren't other people like you or your friends or your family with similar problems and desires and wants and needs? If you don't think that, you're wrong. There's so many people out there that need what you struggle with and that struggle with the same things. So start with your zone of influence. I would argue start with you first. Say you have a YouTube following or on Instagram, 150 followers. You can literally ask them, these people, it's 150 people, like, what do you need? What do you want? Okay? Asking them, what do they want? What do they need? That is going to be huge. But if you're still feeling stuck, you want to figure out the most painful thing you can solve. So we talked about pain. What is the most painful? Like the most painful. We want something that actually would make a difference and a dent that we could expand. You also want to think of something you have a passion for. I'm going to talk about Ikigai. It's an amazing concept, and it's really helped me find my passion, purpose, and where I belong. And there's specialized knowledge that Naval Ravikant talks about, which we can talk about. But you got to actually enjoy it. Some people argue, don't do that. So if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. But I do agree with finding the passion. And then the largest niche possible, that specialized area. So we're talking about finance, or if we're talking about clothes or something like that, it's a niche. Finding something within these three things is really helpful. And then within that, solve your problems. So Noah agrees, you want to solve your problems. You also want to think of best sellers. So like, what's already selling a lot? What is doing well? Okay, you don't have to copy them or do the exact same thing, but if you notice that something is doing well and it's working, look at that. There's a reason it's working and doing well. And you can kind of come up with your own point, and you can make it your own. But if you look at what's working, that's a really great indicator as well as what the market wants and needs. Noah also says, like, where are people spending money? So look at where the money's going to. So do a lot of people like show up to fast food? Are a lot of people on Etsy? If so, like, what are they buying? Are they spending money on clothes? Are they spending money on travel? I don't know, or some unique trinket or something. So like, where are they spending money? That could give you insight as well. And lastly, you can just look with a search engine query. Okay, you can ask the question, Google it, and just ask, like, what do people need, or problems or ideas, etc. I know we're spending a lot of time on like the product and the idea and finding it, but everything stems from there. And Sarah Blakely, the billionaire founder of Spanx, she is one of my heroes and mentors, so I will definitely be talking about her a lot. She says that everything comes back to here and to here. You can market and sell to people, but unless you have a good product, people won't want to buy again. And so you really want to get the good idea first. You don't want to spend forever thinking about it and droning on about it, but that's why I'm giving you some more details so you can hopefully have a stronger idea from the get-go. And the last principle I really, really want you to know before you figure out your product is demand. If you've heard about supply and demand, but demand, you don't want to make a product and then try to create demand. You want to already have demand for the product, like we had talked about earlier. You want to know, what do people need? What are people searching for? Like, what are the problems people are already having, so that you can then find the solution and say, oh, you're struggling to make money? Hey, this is a great way to do that. Or hey, you don't know how to invest? Hey, here, this is how to invest, right? Or hey, you're really miserable or feeling lost in your 20s. Hey, here's how to not be lost, right? Things like that. Or you want healthier food or organic options? Hey, here's your organic options. You want things faster? Hey, here's a shipping service that gives it in less than 24 hours, right? So figure out, what is the demand? What are people demanding? What are people wanting? And then you can make something for them, right? Even with my YouTube videos, I should be doing that. I should say, what do people want? Are people asking about the money side? What are they asking about the money side? Are they asking about investing? Are they asking about the millionaire? Are they like, what are they wanting? What are you guys wanting? And then I should follow that and create videos that are helpful for that. Instead of just going, oh, maybe I'll just do one about happiness today, and then I'll do one about my rock collection, and then I'll go ahead and talk about the origin of Barbie dolls, and then whatever, right? So like, what is the demand? What are people asking for? And then what do you have a unique passion or skill set on, and create it? Okay, look here at 2 ideas that Noah wanted to show. So is it an opportunity that will be good? Google Trends are significantly up for setting up people's home offices. I'll help you set up your home office. The cost of your product's $500 to do it. Size of the market, there's 50,000 people. There's a lot of people. And so yeah, you can make $25 million doing this. $1 million idea, yes. But then if you look at this monthly Vietnamese faux broth subscription idea, okay, that's cool. That's a great idea. However, there's little interest. You thought that'd be awesome. You thought that was a problem. You wanted it, but the market's a lot smaller. Cost of your product's $20, not as much. So the value is like 20,000. And so it's not really $1 million idea. So you really want to kind of ask yourself some of these questions. What's the size of the market? What's the cost of the product? How many people want it? And then kind of run it before you start it. So I'm going to show you really quick with like Sweat. I've talked about it before, but with Kayla Itsinas and Toby Pierce, they created an app, Sweat, and it was $24.99. Okay, and they ended up having 30 million users in its lifetime, and it was $24.99 a month, which that's nuts. And so that has the potential, the personal training app in your pocket. Now, it doesn't mean that it's just magically going to work. Just because you have something that could bring you more money or that could work. I talk about this in the Millionaire Fast Lane, like getting in a fast lane business. It doesn't mean that it will automatically work, but you do want to check these boxes to see if it has the upside or the potential, and like if it's easy to do, easier to scale, etc. Because if you don't have this, then it's definitely not going to work. So you definitely at least need to see if the potential is there. Okay, so hopefully we've gotten here. What product or service are you going to offer? Okay, what's your product or service? And so I want you to get clear and write it down. What are you going to do? So what is it? What's the need? Like, what is it solving? Who is it for? And how much impact can it have? Like, can it actually have impact? And is the industry, like, is there demand? Which kind of goes back to the need, but is there demand? So I want you to kind of ask that. What is your product or service? Is there a need? What's the demand? Who is it for? And what type of impact can this have? And so once you have this, then we can rock and roll. All right, so your next job is to pre-sell. So like for $25, I will teach you how to save an hour a day on your Mac in just 20 minutes. Will someone pay for that? If they will, check. For $69, I will teach you how to write better in 2 hours. Will someone pay for that? Check. For $10, I will send you a PDF with 10 mind hacks that will change how you in 10 minutes. If that works, check. And then for $180, I will provide 6 months of tasty jerky to your office this week. See if you can actually find a customer, okay? If you can find a customer, and if they pay you, like they'll actually give you the money right now, and they don't just go, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Give you the money, then it validates your idea. So you're trying to validate your idea right now. You want to validate it. This is the validation mode. And to validate it, you actually have to get money from others. And I want you to get money from at least 3 people. Then you know you can get there. Too many people don't actually see if someone will pay for it first. They don't see if someone will pay first, and they make the product and they spend all this time, and then there's no customers, and then they get really sad. But you could have prevented this just by doing the hard work at first, just by asking, which is actually not too hard. It's just a little uncomfortable. Which brings me to this part of the book, which was Noah talks a lot about like not being scared to ask. Like, you can't get anything if you don't ask. And I know my dad told me this like Bible verse, and I can put it here, but it's like, ask and the door will be open to you. Knock and you shall find. Seek and you shall find. Something like that. But ask and the door will be open to you. So you have to be willing to ask. You have to be willing to be rejected. A lot of successful people were in sales and they heard no, 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 no. Eventually they hear yes, no, no, no. And even once they get that yes, it doesn't mean they keep hearing yes. They might hear more no's. You have to find the right people. Even J.K. Rowling, she got rejected by like 12 publishers, and then eventually one said yes, and then she created Harry Potter, right? And became a billionaire and completely transformed her life, but also other people's lives, so everyone wins and everyone's happy. But getting money is not a matter of literally getting it. It's a matter of receiving it. And you can only receive if you ask, and if you show your value, if you show, hey, I have value. Hey, I have something to offer. Hey, I can make your life better. Let me do that. So what can you do to make people's lives better? And I think this is worth double clicking on really quick, because this is something that I've had fear in my life, and I could talk about this, but like, you want to be the type of person who asks for what they want. You don't want to be like, oh, I'm worried about what they're going to say, or no, I don't want to burden them. No, you have to ask. Or even if you want a new job in a new company, you have to ask. You have to do it. That's how I got pay raises and made over 100% more than I did from my start, is because I asked, I did it, I put in the work. If you want more money from your boss, you have to ask for the raise. If you're selling, you have to ask for them to buy it. Even at home, if you want your spouse or your kids to treat you better or to do something, you have to ask. So everything starts from asking. If you do not ask, you will not get. One activity I want you to try. I'm all about activities. And in my book, I have like so many action times, is what it's called, so that you can actually take action and learn as you go. But rejection goals. You literally want to set a goal to be rejected a certain amount of times. Let's say 100 times. Because guess what? If you get rejected all of these times, you are more likely to get yeses along the way. And so you have to be willing to be rejected. You can't win a game. Like if you're playing basketball, Can you win a basketball game if you're not playing? No. You have to play. You have to be on the court. You have to be one of the starting five, or at least get subbed in and play, but you got to be the main character and be in it if you want to win. If you're not playing the game, if you're not asking, if you're not trying, why would money, why would opportunity, why would good things come to you? Okay? You have to be the one to go ask. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Does it stink to be rejected? Yes. And I could do a video on how to deal with that. But you got to get more comfortable with hearing no and failing. The more comfortable you are, and you know that's simply part of the process, successful people know that in order to win or to succeed, failure, like failing, if this is the stepping stone to achieving your goal, or like rejection, success is here. Oop, forgot another C. You have to be willing to fail and keep going and stay positive and keep going and stay positive to get to success. Okay, so how can we break through the market? We have our idea, we have it, we validated it. We need to figure out how to get it out there, etc. So Noah talks about social media and your 1,000 true fans. And he talked about a situation where he offered like, hey, if you donate $10, I'll personally write you a letter. If you do $50, I'll give you a custom deck of cards that are designed by my favorite artist. $100, I'll give you cards and a shirt. And $500, I'll give you a phone call and I'll talk to you. You get a 1-hour consult. $1,000, then I'll give you everything above and an Austin bike ride, and we'll go for a bike ride and backpack and hang out together. BFF, $10,000. Let's do a taco and talk business at a Michelin-starred restaurant in Mexico City, all expenses paid. And they ended up raising over $30,000. And someone's like, well, it's because you had a big audience. But yes, even these big audiences that people have 100,000 people or more, there's actually like 1,000 really true fans that could be responsible for a lot of this. So it's important to consider building social media, which we'll talk about, and how you could use it. But realizing, like, even I just did a fundraiser. Let me show you this. We just did a fundraiser for the American Heart Association, okay, at my school that I was in charge of. Decided to bring it into our school, okay? And so we talked to all the classes, and there's like 1,500 students, okay? We ended up raising, I don't know, like $2,000 or something dollars. We didn't do very much. I didn't do any projects. The goal next year would be 10,000 or raising a lot more. But this actually, surprisingly, was the most money for a middle or high school, at least so far, that was raised in Virginia. We raised the most. And guess what? I was like, wow, how many people did it? Guys, there were like 40 people who signed up. And then there were some people who like were responsible for $300, or someone was responsible for $400. Of course, there were people that 10 or 20 that all added up, but there were like 40 people out of 1,500. Let's look at this. Look at this. 40 divided by 1,500. Like 0.02% of our population was responsible. So oftentimes it is a smaller percentage that is responsible for the success. Like I even want to share, I'm wanting to do my YouTube channel and reach more people. And I realized that a lot of these big YouTubers that maybe have, like Ali Abdaal has 6 million subscribers, YouTube coach, okay? The amount of views he has is like 100 million or like 400 million, something like that. I can show you. And then they get 6 million subscribers. So they have to reach a lot more people to then get that valuable customer base, right? And so you got to expand. There's billions of people in the world, but there are some people that will want your product or that will help. And let me show you that really quick. I just think this is a valuable aside to show you with Ali and like how many views they've gotten. Okay, so look, Ali Abdaal, and he's been on here for a while, but here we go. 6 million. Where's his views? Right here. Almost, I don't know if you can see, it's a little blurry. 500 million views. There we go. 500 million views almost. 6 million. So like the ratio is so different. Or even, hey, here's me. Woohoo. Okay. We're getting close to 3,000 subscribers, but almost 1 million views. So in theory, to get up to like many subscribers and not just 3,000, I would need to reach a lot more people, right? So we'll see. So how would you build an audience? We know that building an audience or some type of social media platform is good. So social media can be used in a good way. I know I used to have this weird relationship with social media. I was kind of like, don't like it. And it started not being so fun. And, you post pictures and you're constantly like looking at how other people are doing. And you're trying to like portray a certain image or share like happiness and fun and feel pretty and all that stuff. And maybe not everyone does that, but it is part of that. You're just sharing your life and things. It's interesting. But then I started using social media, number one, to learn, which I think is a really key hack. But use it to learn, but then also to share. So other people have helped me learn. So what if like I can share and provide value to others? And so there's a lot of stuff with social media. I still haven't cracked the code fully on that. But Noah shares. This is typically the framework you want to follow and get into to at least have a good platform to start. So you want to figure out, who are you? Why should people listen? So the who, why, What are you passionate about and what will you do for people, right? It helps to have credentials, or if you've like lost a ton of weight and so you can show people, hey, I lost 60 pounds. Here's what I did. I'm going to become a millionaire. This is what I did, or I've done this. This is what I did, etc. So what value do you have? What experience? Are you a teacher? Are you an engineer teaching something? Are you a doctor teaching stuff about that? And what are you doing for people? It is about others, right? We always want to think about others. And I actually really love this because they say to find your unique angle, which is hilarious. And then he says unfair advantage, which I have a whole video on talking about the unfair advantage and how you can exploit it and use it in order to stand out. Woohoo! Noah talks about like which platform you can choose. It should be what you enjoy creating content on. Instagram, so it talks about if you don't like pictures and stuff. I know it's a little bit more reels now. Podcasting, it's very hard to do, he says. It's very, very difficult. But they're very highly engaged if you can grow the audience. There's LinkedIn, great audience for business people. Vlogging, he still does that. Some of these things can be very hard because getting the attention, it's very popular now, but something to consider. Twitter, it can be hard to grow an audience, but there are ways to go viral. I don't know any of these like special tactics. That's not my specialty at the moment, but TikTok, a lot of people, he said that having 1 million followers on TikTok or 100,000 on YouTube, he would pick YouTube any day. So there's different platforms. It's important to find one that might work for you. And the internet gives anyone the chance to have the same broadcasting power as a massive media brand. No permissions needed to build your own audience. That doesn't mean it's easy. So does this mean it's easy? Heck no, but possible. And we talk about that with the fast lane. If you want to check out that video, if you have not, there's the sense framework and all of these different things that you can think about to find a business and a way to market in a way that will work for you. So here's some advice that I probably even need to take. But if you are going this route, you want to create content for a core circle. Okay? So it can be so exciting and tempting to expand out of this and to make more circles and to get complicated. But you really want a narrow audience. You can always build. It's like Ali Abdaal. He started with helping people get into med school. Okay. And because he did, and he went to a really great university and he had some of those unfair advantages, but that's where he started. And I have to remember that because I can tend to just be like, oh, I have this, or I love talking about money and I love talking about, emotions. And then I have kids. And so talking about parenting and stuff, but it's like, what is my real value right now? What is the one thing that I can focus on? Or even if you don't want to do like one thing, what is the core circle? So if you're talking to someone who wants to be successful, they want to start making more money, they want to start like having a better lifestyle, so their habits, like they want to know what those actions are, or, hey, they're making more money and it's hard and they're having emotions, like that makes a little bit more sense than just like parenting and then my favorite clothes hauls, and then here's how to be a millionaire. So you really want to think of this one narrow audience and just start solving that problem for them first. And then after that, you can move bigger. And so that's kind of what I was talking about maybe it's not just about money. It's also like handling your emotions. This is like the medium circle. So this one here was your core circle. And it could be other things that would concern the medium, your core circle, like other concerns, but it maybe expands a little bit broader. Like Ali started talking about productivity, which can be helpful, right, to who he was initially serving. And then lastly, you can kind of get a little further out and do the large circle, which you can go to the largest audience possible, but it's still somewhat related. Some of Ollie's most watched videos are like about his salary, which is made possible by how he started here. And so I need to remember that, and hopefully this will be helpful to you too. And remember, if you are posting to social media, another good reminder is you want to be the guide over the guru. So instead of being like the know-it-all or saying like, you have to do this, you have to do this, or this is the way, it's like the guide. This worked for me. Maybe it'll help you, right? Or I tried this, this, and this. Here's what I learned, right? Or I really struggled with this. Here's how I overcame it, right? It's like how I, instead of you should, you need, you want to guide, and you can also document or share your own experience. So kind of think about that, and maybe this isn't the route you want to go down. You don't have to, but it can help you depending on the business you chose to. It could help you to find more people. And what I always say, it's like, it's not just about like the money or the business side. Like, I think it's cool to find people who you can help. Like, I've always been someone who wants to help, serve, and uplift the world. And so I'm like, how can I find those people? Oh my gosh, there's a place where millions of people are, and their eyeballs are looking every day, and our attention and our mind is there, and our heart's there. Let me go there, and I can find the people I can help and serve and try to guide and just enjoy the journey with. If you do want to go this route, you also want to think about email. Okay. So getting off of social and getting on to email, I would love to have an email newsletter or list one day that provides value, information, support. I know Dan Go, he's someone who's came on recently, like personal trainer for entrepreneurs. And he sends an email newsletter, and I get that, and it has like different tips that can help, and different supplements or workouts, like different exercises if you experience back pain, or if you're trying to build stronger glutes, or whatever you're trying to do. And so it's providing this value. Remember, we always want to be someone of value. And then it's a win-win situation where who you're trying to help gets the value, but then you also get the email, which all it is, it's not trying to be scammy. I know a lot of people are like, oh, they're going to get my email. If you don't want someone to get your email, that's fine. But all it is that I can contact them. Like, remember TikTok and what happened? And everyone, like, there's a lot of issues and things that went wrong with that. But the main thing is, all of these people, if you had 100,000 people, how do you contact them? There is no way to contact them. If you had been getting emails, you can eventually, you own the emails, or you have access if like TikTok shut down. Hey, I still have emails, and I could go, or like it's like having a phone number. Oh, I could still contact them and reach out and see how they can support them, or say, hey, I'm on a new social media platform or whatever. So email is king and something to consider as well. All right, Noah says we got to do the reps. The law of 100, if you haven't heard of this, okay? And basically what you want to do is do something 100 times, okay? Right here we have this chart. You want to do it 100 times. If it is reaching out and emailing someone 100 times, if it's 100 posts, whatever you're trying to do to get to your goals or to reach more people, that's part of this, is reaching more people, trying to ask people if they want the product. If you have something to sell and you're going around knocking on doors, then you got to go knock on 100 doors. If you wanted to do something with content to promote, you have to do 100 pieces of content, etc. And so you really want to think about that. And the law of 100 is something to implement. And the more reps you do, the better you get. And eventually, like, the more results. And the more you're increasing your odds of luck, right? If you do more, you're going to attract more and get more. I really love this question. If you had to, like you had to double your business with no money in 30 days, or you had to figure out how to get a certain amount of followers, or you had to figure out how to sell 100 copies of your book that you have, or whatever service you had to sell 25 times to keep it in business. Like if you had to do something, it was a must, what would you do? And so I would challenge you, if you came up with something, oh, well, I'd have to wake up early, or I'd have to go drive here, or I'd have to reach out to these people, whatever it is, then you should do that now. Don't wait until it's dire. It kind of is dire now. Like, go do that now. Once you have a customer, you want to focus on making them happy. Okay? Do not diminish the value of one person. I know even social media, you could get caught up in seeing people with over 100,000 people that they work with, or heaven forbid, 1 million people. It's like, hello, there's one human being here, or 2, or 3, or 4 that you can impact, or 100, 1,000. Take care of those people and make them happy. And then the more you do that, in return, number one, that's fulfilling and gives you purpose, and you're serving and helping. But guess what? You'll probably find more people to make happy if you make the current people happy. Why would you get more? Why would you have the privilege of helping more people if you're not even taking care of the one person, the one that you have? Take care of the one. I lastly want you to think about, what is your dream? Okay, what is your dream here? And like, why are you trying to start this business? Why did you initially click on this video and want to start a business? And then what is your dream life? And hopefully you can intertwine all of the things, the people you love, the work, right? Some of your hobbies. Hopefully we can intertwine them all. But what is your dream life? And how will starting this business help you to get there? Is it financial? Is it with purpose? Is it service? Like, is it something that you enjoy doing? How can you maximize living the dream and helping other people live their dreams? And I think that is where the fulfilling part comes from, and where we can find a no-lose situation where everybody wins. How can everybody win from what we're trying to provide and create in this world? I truly hope this video helped you in starting your business, and I'm excited for you. I hope you start your business. Feel free to let me know in the comments below if you have questions. Feel free to check out this video, The Millionaire Fastlane, on how to build a business or how to get richer faster. It's really, really helpful and one of my favorite books I've ever read. Check out this video for 15 skills of successful people, and feel free to follow the journey on building wealth, how we're making millions of dollars and more, and serving and contributing and reaching our potential in this life. I know you have so much potential within you. Let's tap into it, let's build, and let's create our beautiful lives together.